Hey friends, this is Ian Khan, the Futurist, here at the Global Conference by Milken Institute 2025. I'm here with Cara with Mercer. Cara, you lead a lot of different things. You're part of a lot of different things, specifically climate change, sustainability at Mercer. Tell us about your role at Mercer.
Well, Mercer, first of all, we are a world's largest HR consultant as well as investment consultant. So very different spans of corporate and we work with asset owners as well as corporations on their overall strategy. So my role is to bring that kind of all together. So where we work with HR, it's really on health and health benefit design as well as corporate design on the people strategies, and then on the investment side as well for defined benefit and 401ks and saving programs.
Yeah, so you're working with a lot of organizations that are challenged by many of these issues that impact them, whether it's sustainability, it's figuring out their ESG strategy, it's their DEI. What is out there that everybody's worried about that's broken or needs fixing up?
Well, I'd say, I think the elephant in the room is very much, is ESG and sustainability still alive? And I think what we're starting to see is massive regional differences. So Europe is very much still, that train is, has definitely left the station. And I think what is happening in Europe is an interesting development, which is an overall rationalization of what makes sense, what is too much regulation, when does it become cumbersome, and the overall goal of sustainability, environmental and people, is no longer being achieved because we're making it too difficult. So I say Europe is a really interesting area to watch. The United States obviously is going through a very different stage where I think there's a lot more question around nomenclature and what is even considered legal as corporations really try to rethink their strategies and their organizations. But I think for me the greatest and most important message, and what we're seeing even here, is that sustainability is still very much part of corporate strategy. Net zero targets are still very much part of corporate strategy. And you do still see most are very much on that journey still.
Yeah, let's talk about climate change. Many things associated with it, whether it's carbon credits, it's the strategy going forward, design of your products, like many complexities. Is there a specific industry that you're working on, or is kind of your favorite industry where a lot of progress is being made and actually is being made?
I say the industries that are the most interesting to watch are the hardest to abate, right? So the sectors like cement and even oil and gas, and those are the industries that are really innovating, and they're innovating for innovation purpose, right? It's actually because it makes more business sense. They know they're going to thrive longer term. They want to maintain their relevance. They still want to be very much investable. They want people to still be attracted, and they want shareholders. So I'd say those are the most incredible sectors to watch, and it's across all aspects, right? So you start to see, oil and gas is really interested in carbon capture, right? So how do you continue your business, start to smarten the way you do your business, but how do you do it in a way that actually you can do less damage and potentially actually protect the planet as you continue to serve your customer base, who do still need energy, who still need concrete, who still need a lot of these things.
Yeah, and even when you talk about the great electrification of the world and energy transformation and the transition, things take time. Nothing is instant, and you can't just flip from one source to the other. So there's frustration at one end. Yes, people want everything to be done right, in a second. But the infrastructure planning, and we spoke with Milken experts in this interview series. The challenge with infrastructure is that it's slow. Things take a lot of time. What are you seeing? Is it the investment that is needed, which is a big problem for organizations, and they are unable to make it work fast, or is it the leadership that doesn't understand this needs to be done? Or is it, what else is it? Is it uncertainty? Is it global stability? What are you seeing?
Well, your question has all the answers, really. I would start with the fact that there needs to be an understanding that nothing can happen overnight. That said, I'd say movement has been incredibly rapid. you are seeing a lot of organizations either create separate investment accounts. So some of the hard to abate sectors, again, they are investing very heavily in innovations, alternative energy sources, and you do see most leadership does understand that the way the world is moving is towards a much greater need for energy. So that needs to be sourced out. I would say, though, when it comes to infrastructure, you are seeing a great deal of investment and a great deal of interest. The grid, most parts of the world, developed and undeveloped, is absolutely broken. So there's a lot of investment happening around the grids around the world, especially to address things like increased energy needs around things like AI.
Yep.
So as long as we want to continue to advance things like AI, we're going to need our energy needs to advance just as quickly. And I do think there is a pretty vast recognition of the fact that that needs to happen. And you are seeing more investment come towards that. And infrastructure is a great area that for people to invest.
One area of infrastructure that I'm thinking about, and everybody's talking about, is AI. But as its infrastructure needs grow, you need more power, which we don't seem to have. There's looks like an issue powering up the AI of the future, data centers that need power, which will enable AI. So there's this whole set of growth-related challenges that we're looking at, that even to have AI work the way you want it to work, you need to have the right infrastructure in place, which needs energy, which demands energy, and then there's all that complicated stuff behind it. And then we're talking about sustainability and climate change. How is that paradigm shaping up based on what you're hearing from the industry? Like, where are we headed, and what do you think is going to happen in terms of strategic planning for the next 25 years in this?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to AI needs, right, there are more implications than just the energy that's needed, right? Because you also need a lot of water, right? So tomorrow I'm leading a panel that's specific around the risk and opportunities of water.
Yep.
You can't run any of these things with cooling. Imagine all those data centers; they all need to be cooled. They all need water for that. So there are a lot more implications, broader implications than purely just energy for a lot of what's happening in the AI space. I think the word sustainability, if we think of sustainability interchangeably as a long-term survival and thriving, right? That's when I think you see good management starting to think about, okay, if we are reliant on, we want to invest more in AI, we are going to need more energy, we are going to potentially have other implications like things like water that are having implications on our business growth, then how do we invest in that while we continue to invest in sort of our needs around AI? And you are seeing a lot of that. And infrastructure is, a key area for investment. You're seeing a lot of dynamic investment happening there. And things like carbon capture, right, have gotten much more unique, right? Rather than just saying, let's grab the carbon out of the air, is what can we do with that carbon? Oh, well, actually, why don't we sell it to somebody who makes carbonated sodas, right? Like, how do you actually start to create much more of a circular economy with some of the ways that we're functioning now as a human race? And I think that's where you're seeing some really interesting innovation.
Incredible. Last thing, if you had a magic wand, you could make a wish come true, what would it be regarding climate change, sustainability, the entire, ESG, what have you? What would you make true over the next 5 years?
I think, first of all, I think view it as an opportunity. View it as how can we actually make the environment, social implications work for us as an organization to thrive, and make sure that in the next 5 years we're not only surviving, but we're absolutely thriving, and releasing our reliance on. I screwed that up. Can we redo that one?
It's okay. Let's redo.
Sorry.
3, 2. So tell us about your thoughts on the future.
Yeah, I think for me the most important thing around that would be to view ESG, sustainability, whatever the words are. Let's not worry about the words, and let's worry about the positive impacts on our businesses and how we can actually ensure that we're not only just surviving in 5 to 10 years as organizations, but we're really thriving and we're actually producing great returns for our shareholders and our communities.
Amazing. Cara, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best, and we'll follow your progress on all the initiatives that you're working on.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.